Hey, what up everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you with a review of Batista, The Animal Unleashed Blu-ray. I woke up this morning and I decided today was the day that I was going to pop this in and check this out. I did see a video where my good buddy Zach, WB Punk fan, watched this and reviewed this, I think yesterday or the day before. And honestly, the only reason why I really watched this is because when I got to work yesterday, I was sort of rummaging around in my truck looking for something, and I found this tucked underneath the seat of my truck, where I forgot that I had bought this on DVD Tuesday this week, and I forgot to bring it in the house. So I brought it in the house this morning, I checked it out. Honestly, I thought this was a very, very good doc. The Batista, I Walk Alone, they came out 2009, 2010-ish. I remember that being a very good doc as well. They spent a lot of time on Batista's family and Batista's growing up. That was like the first good chunk of a DVD. When I watch shoot interviews, when I watch the WWE documentaries, I normally will skip that. I don't really care about, like, you know, Shawn Michaels growing up as an army brat kid and moving around and stuff like that. It never really interests me. On the shoot interviews, I'll skip over that long section of talking about how they grew up and how they started liking what wrestling. I want to get down to, you know, their wrestling, like, you know, when they broke into it. That's the stuff that I like to hear about. Batista's The Animal Unleashed does start out with a very, very short, you know, minute sort of catch up on how he grew up, but a very funny picture of a very weird looking Batista as a teenager. It picks up, you know, I thought it was to pick up with them filming him the day he actually came back and delivered the promo where he said he was back and he was going after the WWE Championship. He came out there and he confronted Randy Orton. I can't remember what town that was in, but this is all shot in Pittsburgh, the day of the Royal Rumble. I'd say probably at least 90% of this documentary is filmed there. They show him leaving his hotel, driving into the arena, giving an interview, talking about how he's sort of nervous to come back, how he hasn't been there in 4 years. They show him, you know, greet everyone as he comes in. We don't get to see him greet Triple H. We don't get to see him greet Stephanie, Vince McMahon, any of the higher ups. But everybody, you know, that's on his level. You know, he's walking around, you know, talking with Arn Anderson, JBL, Rey Mysterio, the Great Khali. You know, he's just walking around, giving everybody the respect, saying hello to everybody that he hasn't seen in years, and just, you know, getting ready for the big one. Many things happen to him throughout the day. He talks about, you know, going through his walk down to the ring for the first time. He was trying out his entrance, trying to make sure he got it right for TV and he wouldn't look like a goof. Where he comes out on the stage, slaps the leg, and does the big old Batista machine gun deal. And you actually see that they had to run through this twice in practice. And I was really surprised that everybody talks about how much the pyro costs for WWE. And when they actually do the walkthrough, you know, it's just him standing on the stage and a whole bunch of production people, you know, standing around with the music going off. You know, he slaps the leg and the pyro's all going off, and no one's even there to see it. You know, WWE spares no expense to make sure that everything's going to be top notch. Batista said that he hadn't heard his theme in 4 years. That's got to be a lie, because damn, if I was Batista, I'd be riding around town in my car blasting that shit. Because I mean, nothing would be cooler to have your own theme music. And I'm sure that, you know, when he did appearances, I don't even know. I remember the fight that he had for the MMA deal. And I guess they couldn't do it because they actually put it on pay-per-view, and I guess WWE would probably charge a ton for them to use it, but I would have walked out to the fight with that if I could have. I know a whole lot of people, you know, Brock Lesnar came out in UFC to Metallica, but I would have walked out to that Brock music if they could have bought it. But I thought that was pretty cool. He's greeted by Great Khali, and he talks about how they're shooting this for Batista documentary, and he's going to talk about the Punjabi prison match, and he's going to lie to everybody and tell how light on his feet the Great Khali is. It shows, how well they get along. As they go through the documentary, it goes through the ups and downs of the day. Batista says that he's coming back to WWE after 4 years, and he already has an Achilles injury from training. He was really scared to run down to the ring. He's getting all taped up by the doctor and everything like that. And after the match, you can tell that Batista is he's glad that he's won. He's glad he's back. He's glad that he's cemented himself as a 2-time Royal Rumble winner after winning the 2005 one as well. And he said that this one went off a whole lot better. Of course, everybody knows the end of the 2005 Royal Rumble with him and Cena not having the proposed finish go right. Then Vince McMahon running down, tearing out his quads, and just having a whole sea of clusterfuck of nobody really know what's going on. And Batista and Cena fighting each other, going back and forth before Batista finally knocks him over the top. And they got the finish they want, but it's always a Rumble when you watch it. It's always sort of like, what the hell was that? But I think everyone's going to remember how much everyone in Pittsburgh wanted Daniel Bryan to win. I know that he'd wrestled in the singles match, and they didn't put him in the Royal Rumble. Why they wouldn't have just put him in the Rumble and get eliminated? Even if it was some sort of a screw job elimination where the Wyatts 3-on-1, came in, even if it was after they were eliminated and they threw him out and they would continue the Wyatt feud or something like that. But just the fact that Daniel Bryan didn't even get a number, and everybody's going to remember how bad Rey Mysterio got it when he came out as number 30. I remember sitting there on my couch watching it with Zach and Luke and just couldn't believe it. We were counting down the numbers. There's only 3 more guys. One of them's got to be Mysterio because he did the promo. We haven't seen Batista yet. So in these next 3, it's going to be Batista, it's going to be Rey Mysterio, and it's going to be Daniel Bryan. And I can't remember who came out number 29, but it was just like, why? And then when Rey came out, it was even worse. This is just dumb. I mean, WWE is smarter than this. And Batista heard it, when there was just the final 2 guys, and Batista was warming up for the spear, and the Batista bomb. Everybody just loud, nonstop boos, and Batista's in the back, and he's admitting it didn't go, as well as planned. He's not a fan of being booed. Who is? And it just sucks to be, stuck in that spot. But he's saying that, the storyline's going to plan out and everything's going to be all right. And, the WWE smart people, they'll fix this. So, basically, it doesn't go any farther with the WWE stuff after the Royal Rumble. It's just, he's glad to be back. He says that he's got the big movie coming out, which is they've already got a whole feature on where they talk about how he had to go out and he had to audition to get the part, and then once he got the part, he was driving to the gym, and they told him when he was in his car, and he just broke down and cried. And he knows that this is going to be a big deal. He knows that this could be the start of something really, really big. But he said that, he always knew that, he was going to take some time off. He was going to do, the MMA deal, which he did. And he was, training with the Gracie people at the Gracie gym. And you see him, get one of his belts, and they put him over, saying how well that he's helped them with his spotlight, and he's really taken it serious, and he's done everything they could. I guess they thought the fight was too embarrassing. They didn't go out and they didn't get any footage of that, and he just says that he's glad that he did it, because at his age he knew if he didn't do it then he wasn't going to be able to, and that was that. And he knew that after that, his dream was he was going to go out, he was going to make this Marvel movie, and then he was going to go back to WWE. And when he went to WWE, it was going to be his number 1 priority. Basically, he didn't really say it, but I think he saw that he learned from The Rock. You can't come back and just be the guy who shows up on Monday, or people are going to resent you. He says, I want to do everything. I want to work Raw. I want to work SmackDown. I want to work the shows in between. I want to be a big deal. And WWE's his life, and that's what he wants to be a big part of. So you got to give respect for Batista for doing that, because honestly, when he came back, I know everybody knew about the Phoenix show and the Salt Lake show, because they were basically the arenas, and Ticketmaster were the ones that spoiled his return for us. saying that tickets for his return to wrestling house shows were going to be there, but maybe he was just going to wrestle those Raws, maybe he was just going to wrestle those SmackDowns. That's how he was going to get ready. But Batista had matches all along the way, even on SmackDown. You got to tip your hat and you got to say thank you to that guy, because he is a big star. And a lot of the big stars these days, when they come back, they don't work the full schedule like they do. So, Batista's never going to go down as being one of those guys, that I'm going to say is one of my favorites. I would love to meet the dude, like a lot of people did, I guess, Assault and Battery. Met him. Who else of my friends? I think Christian met him at WrestleMania this year. And they all came back with good experiences. And we're seeing all the people that I follow on my Twitter timeline, that met him. All the pictures look nice. None of them had a bad thing to say about him. He's a guy who understands what it's like to be in those people's place, I think. So definitely The Animal Unleashed. I think it's going to be a good long while before this is on the WWE Network. So even though it only ranks in at about 39 minutes, it is a very, very good documentary. Make sure you go pick out this DVD. It comes with a lot of extra matches. I know that a lot of his better matches are going to be on the first DVD, the I Walk Alone. And but this one, they don't disappoint. I think it was probably at least 25 matches on there, so you can't go wrong with the stuff they picked, because a lot of that stuff's all SmackDown stuff, and it's gonna be a lot of time. It's gonna be a lot of time before those shows are uploaded onto the network. So if you're ever in a Batista pinch, you want to watch the matches, this would be a good one to pop in. The only thing that was a little bit weird that was on there was the stuff talking about cars. And that's just because I'm not that big of a car guy. He talks about being in the Imperials of Los Angeles with the Lowrider Club, and buying his first car, and getting it all fixed up, and then finding out once he actually got to hang out with these guys that it didn't meet their standards, and he had to get some stuff fixed. And they've done this with Cena, and they've done it with Mysterio, and it's just they show something that they do outside of the ring, except for just straight up WWE stuff. But good documentary. Make sure you check it out. Peace out.